Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take complex ideas and, well, we try to boil them down to the core insights for you.
And today we're really getting into something quite profound, aren't we? That tension between um, our earned strength and, well, all those pressures from the outside.
Exactly. Our mission today is to unpack how fear, specifically the fear of what others think, can really steer our choices.
And crucially, what the alternative might be, finding a more, perhaps, liberating way forward.
Right. And we're drawing from some excerpts from a YouTube sermon by Apostle Isi Igenegba. It's rooted in spiritual thinking, but honestly, the insights on human behavior are pretty universal.
Oh, absolutely. It touches on things we all face, decision-making, fear, conviction, really relevant stuff.
Okay, so let's get right into it. The sermon kicks off with this powerful idea. It says, being afraid of people much more than you are convicted about the power of God to help you. That's like a gateway. What does that really mean? Why is that fear so significant?
Well, it points to a kind of fundamental imbalance, doesn't it? Like, where do you place your ultimate trust? Is it in, what people think, their judgments, or is it in something deeper?
Something like your own core values, maybe. Your own truth.
Exactly. Or, as the sermon puts it, the power of God. But you could see that as, your inner compass, a higher purpose, perhaps. When that balance tips, when you care more about external approval, the source says it opens the gate and the possibility of disgrace. It's suggesting a direct link there. This fear isn't just passive. It actively invites negative outcomes because you're essentially giving away your power.
Opens the gate. That's quite a visual. And it makes sense because, as the sermon points out next, this fear then directly influences the way you behave. It's not just a feeling anymore.
Right. It becomes a driver, and often not in a good way.
So what kind of behavioral shifts does it mention? How does this fear make us act differently?
Well, this is where it gets interesting for, self-reflection. The sermon says you begin to act irrationally. You begin to hunger for things, maybe get overly ambitious.
Overly ambitious.
Driven by fear.
Yeah, think about it. If your main goal is avoiding disapproval or trying to impress, you might chase things that deep down you don't really value. You're trying to shine, as the source says, but for the wrong reasons.
So you could end up making choices completely disconnected from who you really are or what you genuinely want.
Precisely. Actions that don't actually serve your well-being in the long run.
And this leads to a really stark warning in the sermon, one that I think is crucial for you listening. It says, whenever you allow the fear of men to take over, you can no longer trust your decisions.
Wow, yeah. Losing trust in your own judgment, that's serious.
It really is. How does the source explain that? Why does fear make our decisions untrustworthy?
Because fundamentally you're reacting, not responding from your core. You're driven by pleasing others, avoiding flack, fitting in, instead of acting on your principles, on what you know is right. Right. You're not steering your own ship anymore.
Exactly. And the outcome, the sermon warns, is that you'll most likely end up in shame in the place you wanted to shine.
The irony.
It's a huge irony, isn't it? Seeking that external validation, that shine, but the way you go about it, because it's fear-based, actually leads to the opposite: shame, regret, disgrace. It's like self-sabotage fueled by seeking approval.
Okay, so if this fear is so powerful and, frankly, kind of destructive, what's the way out? The sermon does offer an alternative, right? A different perspective.
It does, and it's actually quite liberating. It's this reminder to sort of zoom out. Remember, they're just men. It's just this life. And crucially, no matter how much I have, I'm not going to die with any of it.
Bringing things back to perspective.
Yes, it's about deflating the power we give to temporary things, other people's opinions, worldly success, possessions. They're fleeting.
Right. So realizing they aren't the ultimate reality.
Exactly. It frees you up. You stop being, as the source puts it, overly overwhelmed by the things of this world. It lets you focus on what actually does last, your integrity maybe, your inner peace.
Which brings us to the ultimate focus suggested. I just try to stay focused on the power of God. How should we understand that in a practical sense?
Well, again, translating that a bit broadly, it means anchoring yourself in something solid, something unshakable, your deepest convictions, your ethics, your sense of purpose, something bigger than the day-to-day ups and downs of external opinions.
So trusting that inner foundation rather than the shifting sands of what people think.
That's it. That's the key, isn't it? It allows you to make decisions from principle, not from fear, to stand firm even when external pressures are high. It's about finding that internal anchor.
An anchor that holds steady no matter the weather outside. Makes sense. So for you listening, as you hear this, what really stands out?
Yeah, maybe think about times you felt that pressure, that fear of judgment.
How might understanding this dynamic fear versus conviction actually change how you approach things? Your decisions, ambitions, even just everyday interactions?
It really prompts a bit of soul searching, doesn't it? Asking, what's really driving me here?
Definitely. I think the core takeaway from this deep dive is pretty clear. Where you place your conviction matters immensely. Is it in that deeper truth, or is it in the fear of what people think?
And recognizing that choice directly shapes your decisions and, well, ultimately where you end up.
It's a call to check your internal compass, really.
Absolutely. And maybe here's a final thought to ponder. If we truly deeply internalize that worldly status and opinions are temporary, just how much more courage could we find? Courage to live more authentically, maybe? To trust our own path, follow our own values, regardless of who's watching or what they might say. It's about moving from needing that external nod to finding freedom within.